As a girl, I would eagerly wait for my father, a programmer, to bring home a portable computer from work. Then we could play asteroids. I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a programmer. In my all-girls high school, computer science was not offered for A-levels. I was the only student who wanted to study computer science. I made special arrangements to be allowed out of school for part of the day so that I could study elsewhere. With my computer science A-level in hand, I was able to get into a top university and attain a first-class honours degree. However, even that wasn't enough to secure a job in IT once the economy started crashing. The internet bubble bursting put the kibosh on my plans to become a programmer. My fellow graduates went on to retrain in careers such as accounting and pharmacy, and I secured a job in a preschool for hearing-impaired children and followed up with a master's degree in curriculum and instruction with a technology focus. With every year that went past, the tech world was becoming increasingly out of reach. Technology evolved, and I had still never even gotten that entry-level job into the field I so much wanted to join. Despite the fact that teaching came naturally to me and was always very intuitive, my mother was a teacher after all, I still felt like I was wasting my time teaching. I had given up all hope of ever having the career I truly wanted. After 10 years, I was at a point where I was crying from boredom each night. I was working 3 jobs to make ends meet and had 3 young children. I decided to push myself a bit harder and spend my evenings relearning how to code. From there, I was able to secure a job as a Java trainer in a consulting firm based on Wall Street. After a few years of repeatedly teaching the same course, I was again in need of something more stimulating. I finally entered the career I had been dreaming of since childhood when I got my first job as a programmer, so many years after I graduated university. Unlike most new grads, however, I knew my code inside out in a way that only teaching can enable. I spent my first 5 years as a developer with the constant nagging feeling that I had wasted the first 10 years of my career, thinking that if I had just graduated 1 year earlier, just graduated before the dot-com bubble burst, I would have gotten that oh-so-elusive entry-level job in IT. Perhaps then I wouldn't have spent 10 years in a constant financial struggle. Whilst developing in a large global financial company, I noticed that engineers took a significant amount of time to ramp up to the point where they could start producing autonomously. We're talking between 3 to 6 months ramp-up time for the average engineer. The rate of attrition in these large companies is high, which means that this long ramp-up time is eating a whole lot of productivity. At work, I would watch a particularly knowledgeable engineer patiently train a recent college graduate. It was whilst they were delving into unit testing that it started to dawn on me, this is not efficient. Not only is the new grad still learning and finding his way in this constantly changing field, but now the senior engineer's time is being consumed as well. Realization hit me hard. I hadn't wasted 10 years of my career. I was in a fantastic position. I have 2 separate and distinct career paths that I could follow at any time, teaching or software engineering. Not wanting to take a step backwards and revert to teaching developers, I saw my value would lie in creating technical training departments at the corporate level, training the trainers. Custom training would enable the company to decrease that initial ramp-up time, free up senior developers from the bulk of onboarding, thereby decreasing costs and increasing productivity. Having multiple skills to bring to the table makes an employee more valuable. My particular set of skills can only be achieved through years of experience, training, and hard work. It has been 20 years since I graduated with my first degree. I can now finally say, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference.